Ah, there we go. Good morning, Kevin. I forgot to unmute myself. Got a slow start this morning. Took a little time to get all the animals fed this morning. Let me put up the gain just a little bit. There we go. Now I don't have to be hollering at the at things. There we go. And then when the hammer strikes, it won't. Hopefully I got the right balance there. The face too. All right. Get a fire going in here. Start warming the area up. It is chilly in here. I got a nice warm beverage here so that I warm myself from the inside out at least. Oh yeah, good cup of coffee. Yep. Put some tiny charcoal on top of that. Make the area smell like a nice campfire. Almond coconut macaroon tea. That sounds lovely. I'm all healed up from my dental surgery, or as healed up as I need to be. That's so good to get that painful tooth out of there. How you doing? Beautiful. Dad's not awake yet, right? Oh, okay. Pringles can. There we go. There's all those fire pixies. We'll switch over to the coal here in a second. All the paper should be burned out of there now. Should just be charcoal burning. Move the charcoal bucket back out of the drippy areas. And let's go ahead and grab my fancy schmancy coal rake. And pull over my coal and get that going. Actually, it's coke. I need to add some coal in there. with that started, I think I'm going to see if I can make this piece of metal, which, as you can see, is already primed for being a leaf, into a drawer pull, two-leaf drawer pull. I love that coal rake. That's a pretty cool one. I actually need to spend time turning this one, I think, into a proper coal rake. I've seen enough of it done. I've got some ideas for how I would do it all up, so shouldn't be all that hard to do. Yeah. Ooh, that needs to go in my take inside bag. Left my tea strainer out here. All right, let's get this into the fire as I start getting that fire going. Charcoal on the bottom's not going to go out at this point, so I'm not worried there. I do want to grab tongs. And it'd be good to have a tong clip so I don't have to hold on to that. There we go. That's not going to let go. But I also need a stand. There we go. Get out of the way of hot metal. There you go, take a drink. There we go. Let's get this new metal out a little bit less out in my way. I need to cut them in half so that they don't stick out there. Or move my forge so that there's more room behind it. All right, let's pile some coal back behind it. All the startup stuff I normally would have done. All right, got a lot of coal dust in this bag. Need to get a sifter here so I can sift out all this dust in the future. Firewood for heating the house or firewood for making things pretty? Let's get this a little out of my way. There we go. That's more like it. I do think I'm going to end up having to move my forge to make this all work nicely. In the meantime, let's see if we can get the other camera working. Other cameras, I have two. So, GoPro. Let's just take a look real quick. Is that cam link? Where'd that cam link? Okay, that's the cam link I want for that anyway, but that's not the one I want right now. It's this one. We'll hit OK. We'll come back to why that. Oh, I know why not. And then we'll go to this one, and we'll set it to the other cam link. There we go. And now we're ready to actually do some forging. Let us look at the fact that having your tools sitting out in the humidity of the Pacific Northwest gives them a patina, otherwise known as rust. I have to keep that in check. Wood stove in the house, that's nice. I think we're going to end up getting a pellet stove for the house. What was under the tarp? Are you telling me you're under snow? That icky white stuff. And my reminder tells me to get ready for blacksmithing. I think that we're finally there. Clear my reminders there. So that I can focus on you fine folks. Not let that other stuff get in my way. All right, I do want to switch, and because I get the idea that at some point I'm going to actually, let's make sure this is working. It is. We'll switch over to this and figure out what I got missing over here. Pretty sure I know. I may have actually forgotten to turn it on. Yep, that was it. Look at that. GoPro. All right. Nope, not what I meant to do. Oh well. Let's try this again. That's what I meant to do. All the setup you get to see. All right, there we go. We'll turn it towards that. We'll turn it, we'll try to get it level. That's always nice. That's nice. We'll give it the tilt it needs. Hey, look at that. Now we can see when I start doing something at the vise. And the quench tank, which is not frozen over, thankfully. There was a couple of things frozen this morning when I came out here. All right. I think we are now well ready to start forging. Let me switch over here to the anvil. Yep. Cool. Big old lump of charcoal right there, keeping everything started up and going. We'll just go ahead and put that up there for now. Bury it a little bit. There we go. Good. Got the volatiles coming off of that new coal. Green coal, as they say. There we go. Force just enough air to get it hot, but not so much as to not let the volatiles catch fire. All right. Come over here, finish the taper. Get down to a two-sided taper, cleaned up. And pull it back, get a nice chunk of metal in there so I can set it down. Turn in the opposite direction of what we forged the taper, set it down. Find that groove I made. Oh. It's not horrible that it moved, so I'm going to forge all that down anyway. But it is now too cold to be trying to forge it without causing me trouble. And the fact is, this is mild steel. I could probably get away with it. As a matter of fact, I've seen people start fires by forging cold mild steel till it gets hot. But I'm trying to establish different practices because I anticipate working with better materials down the road, or different materials that won't put up with the abuse of forging cold. Morning, Rob. Yeah, I've got more than one rooster. The bantams ended up, they end up, I no longer have the bantam hen that was most prolific, but she would go off and hide her eggs and hatch out a series of 6, and very often it was 2 out of 6 would be roosters. So I think I've got 6 bantam roosters running around making a ruckus, plus one beautiful rooster of type that we have not identified yet. All right. And I'm making the leaf a little bit bigger than usual. I'm not going to force down the stem too much. These are going to be drawer pulls after all. Smooth that transition out a little. All right. Now we'll go ahead and start bringing that side back. This is the first time I'm trying this, so I'm probably going to get it wrong. I'm so used to forging key rings, I'm not quite sure exactly the dimensionality yet of where I need to forge the pull part. We will figure it out. Hey, Ben. What do these things mean? Just realized that there was stuff on here. It means I am properly connected. Cool, cool. All right. It also tells me where y'all are at. So 2 of you are on YouTube. 1 of you are on Twitch. Interesting. Come on, give me back my picture. Dag nabbit. This camera is very cool, but sometimes it's just frustrating. What did I mess up? Oh, that's what I messed up. There we go. All right, let's try this again. Clean off this. Make sure it actually has my fingers kind of in focus. Oh my gosh. Craggy fingers there. All right. Hey, how's it going? I got a friend that follows me on LinkedIn jumping on here. That's awesome. Yeah. Surfing to hammer sounds. I am well. Thank you for asking. Recovered from the surgery that I had last week for my mouth. Life is so much better when your mouth doesn't hurt. Let's just get things straightened here so I can ascertain what my next moves are. All right, pretty sure I know what I need to do next, which is start thinning out the area that'll be the pull, but not too thin. So I think I'm going to go from, the idea is going to be that I go from, let me pull you into this screen. I think I'm going to go from the leaf here, a thin part, widen out, be the place your fingers go into, and then come back in again, and then leaf again. We'll see if I actually pull off my intent. Good morning, Thomas. So if you've been coming to this stream for a while, you'll know that I typically start my stream creating a leaf keychain. Well, that's changing. Instead, we're going to go to, we're going to mature that step, and we're going to create a leaf drawer pull. So let's see if I'm any good at that idea, at that thinking. I think that's getting me to the dimensionality I want for that. Let's go ahead and, I was using the rounding side, which means it ends up spreading in all directions, but I was also using the edge, which means it spreads more away from me and towards me instead of side to side. And I think that gives me the taper I want. The question is this the right time? I think it's going to be, yeah, not yet. So what ends up happening is along the way, I'll end up making a leaf out of the blob here. And then this will get flattened on the diamond. So I'll end up knocking off corners on this side before I do that. So the question becomes, do I need to pull it in a little bit more so that the flattening process doesn't throw that all out of dimensionality? So let's yeah, I do think I do need to do that because it is going to squish. It's going to push everything out. It's going to push everything out this way. You can't see my fingers. Let's get the camera right. There we go. And then it's going to push everything out from here that way, making everything fatter. And I don't want it to get much fatter than it is right there. So that means I need to make it thinner, or make the square smaller first, the cube smaller first. So let's do that. So a little bit more forging on that taper. It's a long taper, and then it's going to be a long taper back in the other direction again. Hey Shane, morning. Keep that quad state counter going. What's the date of that? Because I think I have conflicting plans already. I think that I do. I think we're going to go see my grandkids then. Which that means I'll have to plan for it for next year instead of this. I mean, I could do math, I suppose, but you've already got it pulled up, I assume, there. September. Oh, if it's September, then I don't have a conflict, and I just need to get it on the calendar. Hold on. Let me grab the phone. Let me block it on my time off. Because that's important. If I don't do it now, I won't remember. So you guys get to have a bathroom break if you feel like it. What am I doing this in? Pay, velocity. There we go. Time off. Request. I technically have unlimited time off, but I don't think they really believe me. September. And for the travel purposes, 22nd, huh? Through the 24th. So if I take off Wednesday for travel purposes, and then come back Wednesday, submit. All right, it's now in a system of record, so I can refer to it later. Hey, Eric. Got a good gang of conversants here today. Getting the wrong part hot. There we go. Let's get it further in the fire. And the reason I just decided not to forge the leaf yet, forge it last, is I really think it would be smart of me to have something easier to hold on to, like a blocky leaf, than a flat leaf. So that's why I didn't do that. Up, and there it went. So easy in a coal fire to melt thin stuff. So I've got to really think about how am I going to deal with this, because the leaf is now a lump of metal pushed too far back. It's going to be slag in here soon because I don't see it. As I turn this fire over, well, that's fun. Oh, there it is. Got it. And that's what I get for forging that too thin right there. Let's pull it over here so you can see it even better. Because it just snapped right off there. So I've got a challenge here. And I think the challenge is I'm working with the wrong stock. And I need to work with thicker stock if I'm going to pull off making these things. I'd be happy for feedback if anybody has some. But I think that's really where because I need that to neck down to make the handle. I also wonder if the answer is start with a piece that's already the right mass. Work on the leaf shape on both ends, which is just the double taper, and then progress in the middle to create my taper. This is a fun challenge to figure out this process without burning off pieces. All right, I'm going to give it one more try with this stuff, and then if that doesn't work, rethink it. See if this was just a matter of I shouldn't have gotten that bulb that hot to begin with, because that was true for sure. No, the goal here is to start moving from making leaf-shaped key rings, Rob, and make instead leaf-ended drawer pulls. Figuring that if I figure out how to do that correctly, figure it out the first time manually, and then create some jigs to get the bends consistent, then I can put those onto Etsy and mix and match, just fun projects for my own enjoyment with something that I'll sell to help pay down the cost of materials. So I've already got the leaf-shaped tong clip. So I've done this before in a way. This one being the S one that Roy did a year or so ago, and I saw it and I was like, I think I can do that, and so that's what I did, and that's what I use on the regular. And then he recently reposted that as a short, and so it was fun to see a couple of the projects that he inspired me come up on his shorts recently. So yeah, that's a good question. Let me grab it. And then, where is my measure? Ah, there it is. 3/4 inch. No, I take that back. That is really wrong. 3/8 inch. It's 3/8 inch, and that just very well may be too small to make something effective in this fashion. But that's what I've been using all this time for making the key rings, was 3/8. Let's pull back just a little there. There we go. Yeah, I just bought some 1/2 inch stock, and so that's what I'll switch to if I need to. This is 3/8, so it's close, but not quite. All right, let's go ahead and get this taper again. I might not be actually real happy with it. We'll see. I might cut it off so I can get a full 3/8 back behind where I want the leaf. Do. Yeah, because that really looks more like a long taper rather than the taper I want. So, square up the bar. You know what? I think I'm going to still go ahead and try and make it. It's just not going to be one I would... No, I'm not. I don't like it. So we're going to go over here. We're going to mark where I will use it. Cut off the rest. Got a nice sharp edge of the handle there. Gets a hardened face. This is a softish material. So ½ inch should be enough for a drawer pull. Yeah, put the taper on the anvil with the handle off. Half on, half off blows. Thin the butt end of the leaf down to ½ bar thickness. Yep. Spread your leaf. Okay, so you think go ahead and make the leaf ahead of time. I watched Trent make one of these as a door pull, not a drawer pull. And though he had his challenges, he made it look real easy, of course, because he's been a smith a lot longer than I have. And I'm purposefully making an extra long taper here. And getting real careful around the edge of my... That should just snap off now. Yep, there we go. Now we're back down to a bar size I like, with a taper on the end I like. All right. Go ahead and throw the other one into my little slack bucket there. Cool it off so I can just toss it in the chuck it bucket. All right. Eva and Colton say good morning. Hi, Kathy. Thanks for jumping on here. And hi, Eva. Hi, Colton. That's awesome. That's my grandkids. We're going to go see them in June, I think it is. The key thing for that, Eric, that makes that an interesting task is that it means I would need to know what the starting length of my bar has to be for this to all work out. So I think what I will do is use this one piece of scrap that has got a length that I have not even measured, and do as you say, make the leaf ends first, and yes, I see what you're saying there, but I don't have one yet. That's a darn good idea. I don't have one of those yet. So what I'll end up doing instead is probably rounding the bar and then squishing it. Or not even fully rounding the bar, but just, round the corners on the sides that'll be the outside edges of the pull, and then smash it so that those other corners go back in again. So, I mean, the fact is, I anticipated thinning this out. This is definitely more than 4 inches of material. As a matter of fact, I can just take a look real quick. I know what that started as, which is roughly there. Yeah, this is good. This is 6 inches of material at starting size. So this will be a long one, and then I'll learn how much I need to shorten it. As I said, this is the first one. This is the figure it out stage. Then we'll go into repeatable stage. Right now we're trying to get it hot enough to neck it. That's definitely hot enough. Just so much scale on it, couldn't see it. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and neck it. There it is. Had to find my groove. Come over here. There we go. It is now necked. Use the step to get it to 90 degrees. Yeah, that makes sense. I can do it there or at the vise. Hardy hole is, I think it's 1 1/4 inches. Let me see. Nope, it's full on 1 inch. There we go. 1 inch. It is just slightly over 1 inch, honestly. It's like an inch and a 1/16, but I think officially that would be a 1 inch Hardy hole. And I don't have any tools for it yet. That'll be something I've got to do here in upcoming sessions. Everything's a work in progress. It's one of those things I was like, that's how you come from apprentice to journeyman, right? You gotta make your own tools, and then you get to journey. Yep, that's the idea, Thomas. In the meantime, I make the kind of projects that don't require a whole lot of tooling to help pay for the materials necessary to make the tooling. So, all right. I'm gonna do like we would normally do and thin that out. Except we're not gonna thin it out quite as far as we'd normally for a leaf key ring. That looks about right. All right. Go ahead and get it warm enough to mash out the leaf. I remember to bring my chisel back out here after showing it off. Well, pooh. My chisel must still be in the house. I want that chisel though. Well, I guess I'm not chiseling in the veins right now, or did I put it in my bag? Let's check in the bag. Nope. I got my knife in there, but I don't have my chisel. That's what I get for showing off. Hello, train. Oh yeah, Eric, this is going live right now on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and LinkedIn because I could, and I have a lot of folks that follow me there for other reasons, but always found it interesting to hear that I do blacksmithing. I'm also over on Instagram, which is hooked up into my Facebook, but I don't have any mechanism for streaming on Insta. I don't know if anybody does. I've never paid attention to streaming on Insta. And then I also have a TikTok, but on TikTok I almost only post things about my chickens, even though I list myself there as a blacksmith. All right. I think that looks pretty good for a leaf. All right. We'll take it off of here. And I think the real answer to this is I'm already seeing I'll have way more material than I need if I actually were to keep on the rest of the 6 inches. You can see here, that'll be one heck of a long drawer pull. Drawer pulls are only typically good for 3 fingers, maybe 4. This is like massive giant hands length of material, which is great if you're doing door pulls, you know, for big doors, but not for this scenario. So I think I'm going to do what you wouldn't want to do with any other kind of material than mild steel, and quench it off and cut off 2 inches of material there and make the other leaf. So this is going to be fun to work with because it's going to want to just move back and forth in my tongs. Let's see if my flat jaw tongs are any better for this. Did I space them well enough to hold on to it well? Yeah, that's a better hold. That was the point of them. We might want to spread the reins a little bit, but we'll see. Let's go ahead and cool that off and cut it off. All right. I mean, it's an exciting process of cutting metal, so we'll go ahead and show it to you. Bigger drawers. You know what? I've been trying to keep my drawers just about the size they are. 38s are good. They're a little big, actually, in my opinion. So I don't want any bigger than that, Kevin. To make a groove. Oh, yeah. You're talking about the leaf groove. You're absolutely right. But then I wouldn't be able to do the veins that go off at an angle very effectively. I could definitely do the middle groove. But honestly, it's got the texturing from my using the rounding side of my hammer, so that it actually looks pretty nice the way it is without having to cut grooves in it. So I think I'm gonna be quite happy with what I've got there now. So what I'm doing is I was eyeballing it at what 2 inches shorter looks like, but I can just come over here and grab my hook measure and see that's 3 inches. 2 inches is probably underneath this this gunk here. Hey, look at that, there is a number 2 underneath the gunk. So we'll go ahead and hook there. We see that 2 inches is right about where I was eyeballing it. That means I need to move it over just a hair more. Told you, exciting stuff right here. This is a compelling drama. Those crime procedurals have nothing on this. All right, there we go. That's 2 inches. Let's try that again. This battery needs charging. Or I need a new blade. Oh, or maybe I just need to get the right angle. There we go. Or, you know, I could just invest in a hacksaw instead of cheating with a portaband. All right, I don't know what I'm going to do with this tiny piece of 2-inch steel. We'll see. Maybe weld it to something and make something out of it later. But in the meantime, I'll switch back over to the anvil, and I'll show you what I mean about the texturing. It's got a nice texture there. So once we brush that with some brass to bring out highlights, it'll probably show up nice. Let's go back onto the other side. So, thanks to Eric, I now know I need about 4 inches of material to make a drawer pull. Those are some cold tongs. We're going to go ahead and throw a glove on just for the opposite reason most people throw on a glove. The head of the anvil. You mean the heel of the anvil? Oh, the heel of the anvil. Yeah, I just can't read. Obviously, it can be done. I think it would definitely not be as pretty because I wouldn't be able to see what I'm doing, and I could get some cuts in ways I don't want right now. The best move, honestly, is don't forget my chisel in the house. So if I really felt I wanted to have those veins, I would just hold off and and get the chisel. But on the other hand, I'm thinking on a drawer pull, you're going to have to drill a hole in the middle of that anyway. And so I don't know if the vane, I haven't seen it done. I don't know if the vanes would look good or not. I think it's more of a hint at a leaf shape, or more often thought of as a spade shape. But yeah. Yeah, that was the intention, is for me to thin it out. I don't want it to be a round handle. I want it to be a more of a squished handle. It'll have flat faces, but I want those flat faces to go into a more rounded shape on the edges. So. Like I said, I know what I'm shooting for. It's the question of whether or not I have the skill to deliver. Let's get that out of the way. I keep a collection of these leaves I've burnt off, just in the hopes that at some point I'll stop doing it, because they'll remind me not to lose track of what I've got in the fire and how easy it is to burn them off. Sitting up here right now, I'm looking at 5 of them. There might be 1 or 2 more. Yeah, 1 or 2 more elsewhere. I think I see one there on the ground. Keep doing the same thing, thinking you'll have different results. Might be insane. All right, let's go ahead and get that sharp taper on there. Don't hit the anvil. It's no good for the anvil or the hammer. Of course, if were holding this piece the right way, that wouldn't be happening. Let's get that. There we go. Big dummy. Just goes to show I need a different type of tong. I saw one this week. I've been going through these courses on YouTube. Not course. I guess he is calling them courses. What am I saying? Let me tell you about it, because it's actually a very cool course set, and I would love to. I'm going to just keep going through them. Go to library. Go to views. Actually, I know where I need to go, because it'll probably tell me this is the next one to watch. Oh, look at that! There's Jack Pines is live streaming right now. YouTube told me so. Subscriptions. Oh. Do. Actually, alphabetical is going to be the way to do it, because I'm pretty sure he's called something like blacksmithing school. Actually, it's easier probably for me to go here where I sent a message to him. His name's William J. Bastas. Blacksmith videos. No. William J. Bastas. I bet I find him that way. There it is. Blacksmithing School 3. That's Black Metal Studio. That's the name of the channel. A lot of great content there. And he's got these tongs that I think I'm going to make a pair of for myself. He likes making them out of spring steel. I don't know if that's really necessary, but they definitely, he has a philosophy about the tongs to always have 3 points of contact, and then things don't want to pivot on you. I think he might have something there. All right. Let's go ahead and make my set downs. I have a suspicion I don't have them quite in the same place as I did before, but they'll be close enough. Come over here. Work on the transition. All right. Floor. Gotta get low, 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 low. Back into the fire. Grab a sip of coffee. So how's everybody's week gone? Oh yeah, William says that over and over and over again during his video sessions. What do you think? Do you find that the high carbon tongs behave in a way that's advantageous to have them versus the mild steel? All right. Knock off the scale just so I can see my metal and how hot it is. Let's go ahead and do what I said about the other direction. Taper it down. It is definitely not convenient to work with these tongs to have 3 points of contact versus any others that I've ever used. But flat jaw tongs don't have 3 points of contact naturally, so you do what you can do. There we go. This one's just about ready to be smooshed into a leaf. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I can get plenty of springiness out of my mild steel. I do right here. And when I say mild steel, let's be clear. I think all of my tongs that I haven't bought but have made are made out of railroad spikes. So I can't tell you exactly what the steel makeup is in those things, but I know that they're not typically a hardenable steel. So I would think that that gets them closer into the realm of mild steel. Although at times I've wondered if any of them are closer to wrought than wrought iron than steel. But I get plenty of springiness out of mine without having to have them be spring steel. That being said, occasionally I have to put them back into their shape again. That spring will get sprung. The tong reins will get a little too close again. That's nothing a little bit of adjustment won't do, and then I can clench them off before putting them away. So yeah, coil springs haven't been to me yet. So except for the pair that I have, because my buddy was working on his car and decided he needed something more attuned to the performance he's wanting to have out of his car. Right out of my hand. All right, get that picked back up again. And of course this leaf is not in the same plane as the other leaf, so we'll have to give it a twist. That's fine. And man, is it an ugly leaf this time. Let's see if I can get it spread out so it's not so ugly. That's better. Warm it back up. Finish the spreading. See if Eric's guidance got me where I needed to be, which wouldn't be his fault if it didn't. Probably warm enough now. Yep, it's plenty warm enough. All right. That's not bad at all. And now it's in plane. All right, we're almost there. Look at that. It almost looks like a pull already. A really ugly pull. All right. Let's go ahead and get the middle part in the shape I want it to be. I guarantee you though that'll go on something in the house. All right. Yep. Let's see if we can warm up the middle without burning off the ends. That's going to be the challenge. That's where I often goof it up. For the ugly pull contest. You did it? Well, my chat history is still showing everything, so that's odd. Wow, she can fly. One of my hens was up on the roof. I'm guessing she didn't want to be messed with by the rooster. So, let's go ahead. I want that area about right where it is. I do want the corners knocked off. Let's see if I can accomplish that without bouncing it out of my hand. Okay. Ah, the rain is here. Here comes the rain again. Okay. All the corners have been knocked off. I can probably just roll it a little bit to make it a little more rounded. All right, I like it. Of course, the only thing I see wrong here is I've got the pretty texture of the leaf on one side and the pretty texture on the other leaf on the opposite side. So I got to do some work there. Let's go ahead and get that leaf warmed up again and put some texture on this side instead of that side. And then I got to go back and look at what Eric said about, yes, okay, so it was take this 90 degrees, take this one 90 degrees, and then bend the other part in the middle by putting that into a vise and pull at the top, smack it in the middle. Let's see if I can do any of that stuff. But first, the texture. Obviously, if I cared at all about my time, I'd want this to all be done a lot faster than I'm doing it. Let's take a look and see if that got the texture in there nicely. Let me see, where is that? There it is. Nope, I don't like that texture. Well, actually, it's not horrible texture. It is a texture, at least. It's not the texture I was going for. Let's smooth it out with the rounding hammer. That's not horrible. It's not great, but it's not horrible. I'll have to be more careful the next time I make one. Let's go ahead and make some bends and hope I don't break anything off. This hammer is not going to be useful to me now. Let's go to a hammer that will be. Yeah, too heavy for the purpose. That will work. We'll use the step. It'll. Okay, that's good to know too. So go straight to the vise. I like that idea. Let's switch over there. It will actually end up being nicer anyway. I see what you're saying, because as I hold on to it with the leaf and start, as long as I do it from the right side, as long as I hit it from the back side, which is what I'm going to do, and pay attention to what the back side is. I knew there was something I forgot to do. I want to smash that flat a little bit more. Let's get that part into the fire before I forget that part. I think this hammer is still going to be a good one for the purpose. Let's go back over here though first. That's not where I want the heat. There we go. All right, let's smash that a little bit flatter, spreading everything out in plane. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Again, not the most beautiful pull, but it's definitely going to do the trick. I'm actually tempted to do something a lot of folks wouldn't, and purposefully knock the leaves in opposite direction to each other, just slightly off center. At least I haven't seen it done that way before. And then I'll probably get it in where I need to use it, and that'll teach me why it's not done that way. But that would give it a little more organic look. There we go. And it also would offset the fact that the two leaves aren't identical, because nature doesn't make everything identical. All right, now we'll go over to the vise. Yeah, I've watched every one of his videos, to be frank, except for his, I'm not big on the shorts, YouTube shorts. I think YouTube shorts is a poor implementation of TikTok and Instagram. So I don't watch those nearly as much, especially since I've watched every one of his other videos. And you're right, the pop tongs, if I just leave that sit, it shouldn't burn up. No air. That's what I was shooting for with these tongs. And I can't say I did a good job of it, but that's where I am with those. So, also made with a couple of railroad spikes. Let's see if I am warm enough. I am. All right, let's go over here. that in. I don't think it has to be locked in major, but there it is. Let's see if I'm going to get in the way of the camera or not. And then give it. And boy, does it take the heat fast. Sucks the heat out fast. All right, we're going to take it out of there. We're going to heat it back up again. Oop. We're going to knock the camera around while we're at it. Yeah, okay. Now I see where the heat needs to go. And let's get it in there and see if I don't burn it up. Now I understand why you're saying they're going to bend anyway. 90 degrees may not be required, but I see why 90 degrees is probably the preferred way to go. Come on, get a hold of it. There we go. Yeah, John Switzer is one of the few folks that I support over on Patreon. I'm getting ready to start throwing some cash Roy's way. I already support Yamez and crew over on his YouTube channel. And they're the ones that basically got me started in all this. I supported Daniel, trust me, I'm a blacksmith, across the pond by just buying some of his stuff. All right, didn't burn it off yet. There we go. That's about where we need it to be. We need to flip it around. Get the other side that's about the same place. Try not to get it twisted. Needs to be hotter. And that will be where it needs to be. Obviously, I've already supported Alex Steele as much as I can afford to support him. I follow a lot of bladesmiths, mainly so that they get exposure. I'm not a bladesmith, but I do and try to get their numbers up. There we go. Cool, cool, cool. Or hot, hot, hot. Get it right there. Get it bent over nice. There we go. Now let's see how well that turned out. That is a pull. Is it perfect? No. But am I satisfied? I'm pretty satisfied with that. Let's go ahead and grab it here. So I hope my brother is happy with the idea that he might be getting a bunch of these pulls soon. He did say he wanted me to send them make something for him. There we go. I haven't snapped the metal yet, so I'm fortunate there. I've only dropped it on the ground about 4 times now. So no records being set there. And it looks like it's about as level and flat as I'm going to get it. Let me see. Give a minute from this side. Give it just a tap. There we go. Nice, nice, nice. As I said, it's not the most beautiful pull ever, but I now know what it takes to make them. Thank you, Eric, for all your help in getting that right. And like I said, in the future, I'll probably create create a jig so I can get that curve perfected instead of, you know, just hand walloped. But that doesn't look too bad. Let's go ahead and make some noise. Where'd it go? There it is. With the infernal whirling machine of spiky death. Before we do that, we're going to go ahead and switch out, put on those protective glasses I forgot to put on earlier, just in case one of these shards flies off in an errant direction. The glasses themselves are a pretty good safety device, but I get those side protectors on there. And I think the thing I take the biggest issue with is that leaf is ugly this time, but it's done. Try to get a little bit of a polish on there just because hands are going to be touching it. Don't want anybody feeling like they're touching splinters. Gave you some extra time there at the slack bucket cam because I know everybody loves it. So we'll pull you over here now to where the spiky whirly of death exists. Go ahead and I'm going to set that right on top of the heat in here just so it can bake a little while I'm getting the wax out. We will cancel. No. Stupid Apple just decided it was going to try to do an update right now. All right. Pull that back out of the fire. No need to clean it again because I didn't like add oxygen to. Nope, it's not hot enough to smoke, so it's not hot enough for it to get in and cure it. Let's get it a little bit hotter in there. Sitting on top though, most of that oxygen is going to just burn right out. So again, shouldn't scale up. Flip it over. And you can see it's now hot enough that it's smoking from the wax I did put on there. All right. There we go. It runs real nice now, which means it'll run right into crevices, and shouldn't be too many crevices at this point, but that's what it will do. And therefore, coat it nice. And we'll take our nice little waxy rag that we wipe it all off with. Get rid of the excess. In the meantime, we got a nice finish that should keep it from rusting. I'm not too displeased with that. Now, for a first try, I'd say I'm actually pretty happy with it. We'll go ahead and set it down there. See if you guys can see it. There it is. What's a shift face hammer? Because I can't answer that question if I don't even know what that is. Hey, we got chatty enough to reach 100 messages today. Thank you, folks. I mean, what I will say is, even without knowing what a shift face hammer is, you've witnessed me setting stuff down and then not being able to figure out where in the world I lost it. And my shop is all of about 14 by 14, and of that I've got about 8 by 8 which I can move around in. So yeah, yeah. All right, that's a good project I got done. Only took about twice as long as I expected it to take. I'm not completely frozen solid. Yeah, what do I want to do with myself now? I know what I'll do. I will come along here and revisit this project. Zoom back out so you guys can even see that. So, I don't know, a year ago, I walked into a Home Depot and asked if they had any used up jackhammer bits, and the one time I went in there that I got lucky, they let me actually have one. There it is. And then I took it from hex, forged it square to fit my 1-inch hardy hole. It's got a nice collar on it already. So the next thing I need to do is cut this off, and I'll have my first tool here. I think I'm going to make it a hot cut hardy is what I'm going to do. Haven't decided how far up. I think about there is where I need to cut it off. So why don't we take you over to that exciting realm where I do that cutting stuff. Cutting commentary to follow. what I am betting is this battery. It would be nice if this battery had a fullness indicator. Let me see. Oh, it does. It's actually quite full. Okay. 12 by 12 with 2 forges, anvils, vices, drill press, and pot-bellied stove. Wow, you fit the pot-bellied stove in there too. So, yeah, I'll show you around. Smithy. I technically have 2 forges as well, although I currently only run one of them because I need to rebuild the other one. Go ahead and put that there for the moment. So, if you haven't been on here to see it in the past, you've been looking at it, the whole stream up in the corner. But that's my wood burning forge. It takes wood because it's a V-shaped forge. When you're looking in the, you can see that. And when you're looking at the fire pot, you can see that. It's a V-shaped forge. So it'll take wood, cook it into charcoal, and then burn the charcoal for forging. In the meantime, though, my buddy introduced me to coal, and so that's what this thing's doing mostly is burning coal. I really should just fill the whole back side up with coal and rake it in as I need it. I just hadn't really thought about that. Hey, Daniel. Welcome to the party. So that's one forge. Then the other forge was a cheapo Devil's Forge, I think is what it was. 2-burner forge, and one of the burners just gave up, and I haven't cut it apart to see if I can if it's serviceable. I don't think it is. But setting that aside, I could build new burners and then put that thing back into use, and that's the intent. So that's the second forge. It's sitting on my tool bench. And over here you can see at the end, because I had to move things around, is where I keep my tongs. Over here is my hammers. And if you're sharp-eyed, you'll see that this is built up. And the reason it's built up, this is all just scrap wood I had lying around. Initially I didn't realize just how hot this would get, even sitting on fire brick. And so it ended up charring the wood underneath. It never caught fire, charred the wood underneath. And so I decided, well, let's deal with that by creating a whole platform with an air spacer and put those bricks on top, and then every now and then I can pull it all down, check to see what the status of things is. I might not have even put it on bricks before, now that I think about it. I can't remember now. But you can see now it's a double layer of bricks. It may have been I had it on a single layer of bricks. So, lesson learned, but you know, only a patch fix, not a really good one. And that's all sitting on sawhorses. So yeah, it's all really slapdash. I've got a fire can. I've got a fire extinguisher. This is a Costco special pavilion made of cedar and steel roof, steel roof, set up next to my tough shed. Then you got the anvil in the back there is my Trenton anvil, the first one I had. Over here I've got my steel anvil. Much heavier anvil. The camera doesn't shake every time I hit it. That's awesome. And then over in the corner, you'll see the quench tank and the leg vise. And I do have a heater there that I never use. I end up working up enough of a sweat that I don't need to. So that's the smithy. That's the whole space. Not a lot to it. No power to run out here. Instead, all my power is from batteries, and then that includes the lighting, which is just a Ryobi work light. mounted up high on the pavilion. The one thing that's different about this pavilion that distinguishes it from the way it was when it came from Costco, you might have noticed that it has Dutch doors and an awning style door. That way I can have people standing outside in the rain but out of the rain if I wanted to do a demo. It also means I can open it up in the summer and let a breeze come through. And that's true on 3 sides, because the 4th obviously is where the tough shed is. So yeah, that's the tour of the smithy. Let's get to cutting. Let's see if I can get this thing to go through here nicely. Now, how high do I need a cutting hardy to be? I'm going to end up flaring this. It probably isn't even the best material for it, but it's better than not having one at all. I will end up having to charge this battery probably after today, though. It's making its way through it. There we go. All right. Now, the other side of it is definitely too long as well. I didn't plan very well when I made it. As to how much material I actually needed to go through. I just forged the whole thing down as an exercise of swinging the hammer. That being said, let's go ahead and see. I have a marker. I have a marker here somewhere. Where is my marker? Where's my crayon? Put that over there. Get this out of the way. Put that there because my buddy made it for me. All right, back to this. I have a crayon here somewhere. I know it. Oh, there it is. Let's go ahead and throw all the crayon all over the floor because it was stuck inside. Yay, humidity. There we go. All right, and I can get under here and I can make a mark where it protrudes from the anvil a little bit, knowing it's getting the full support of the anvil and a little bit more, though the little bit more is probably not necessary. and cut off the rest. Let's see what you guys have been up to. That can't legally drive anymore. I was thinking shift face might mean that, so yeah. That's what I was hoping. Yeah, Daniel, thank you for confirming that. I mean, I do understand it's going through a pounding process, literally, and so that's why they, wear out. But I also figured it would also turn into a good tool, and so yeah, a bowl hammer from the other end. Interesting. Okay, I'll have to look at what that looks like. Shift the camera. Where do I need the camera to be shifted to? Oh, I see what you're saying. You can't see it because I get in the way. Let's see what I can do about that. Unfortunately, the length of cable I have for camera location is hard. Oh, I see what you're saying. Shift that camera so you can actually see the... What the heck? Oh, wrong one. Which camera? This camera. Yeah. That's what my buddy made for me. Gotta love that. That's what you wanted to see. Although, we're going to go ahead and shift this over here anyway and hope that it doesn't get in my way. At least it's not getting in the way of me doing something hot. Let's put that mark upward so I can actually find it. Facing it for the camera doesn't do much good. There we go. Can you see it? Can you see it? There we go. Now, if I get right here in the way, can you still see it? Nope. Ha 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 ha. Interesting. Okay. I know how to fix that too. We just make everything a little bit shorter. And then Ben can enjoy it. Not feel alienated by us. Nothing, Ben? Or are you not there anymore? Damn it. All right, now how's the camera at? You can actually kind of see that. Still, it's not so compelling as to feel like you're missing something if you don't. And there it is. All right. And I suspect that's coming close to the end of my ability to be out here today. Let's get that back in the right place. But now I am ready for my secondary project next live stream. Yep, protrudes just right. I could chamfer that a little bit, although it wouldn't do me any good really to do so, I don't think. It also wouldn't hurt. And I already did the work necessary to make that so that this thing will fit in here and not get jammed up in any direction I set it on there. Obviously, now that I know I'm going to make it a hot cut, it doesn't really matter that it can go in any direction, but that's where it is. I am going to go ahead and move this back up again. And then aim this back down again and give everybody that warm slack tub moment. There we go. Switch that back over there. Check to see how warm that is. It's touchable. That's ready to come inside, get a couple holes drilled in it. Sits nice there. This is ready for me to turn into a hot cut hardy tool. I'm going to have to do some investigation over the week to see what the best shape for that's going to be. It doesn't seem like I got it straight with any of the flats here, so no matter what, I'm going to be shaping that quite a bit to get it in the right shape. Fender bending hammer for a bowl. Oh yeah, I've seen those. The ones I've seen have a dome on both ends, and it's conical shape except for the bowl on each end. You have to make another soft blow hammer, a soft faced hammer. I'm sorry, not soft blow. That's a totally different type of hammer. All right, I'm just going to leave that there so it's something I remember about next time I'm out here. I'm going to take that in so I can show it to the wife, and she'll end up deciding where she wants to put it, because that's what's going to end up happening, and that's awesome. Everybody should have a wife like mine, so supportive of about everything I do, except the annoying parts. Anyway, let's switch back to the Smithy real quick here. And I hope you have a great weekend. I hope to see many of you over there on the Blacksmiths Church. What do we call it? What is the name of that? The Impractical Blacksmith live stream over on Yamez's channel, Island Metal Forge. Yeah, this was a fun project. I look forward to being able to make a bunch of these and getting better at it along the way. That'll be this year's project of betterment. So everybody take care, and have a great day, and love and light.